There are three main reasons why parents will file custody and maintenance cases in Kenya. Number one, they're looking for financial assistance from the other parent of the child. Number two, they're trying to get access to the minor because they've been denied access. And number three, they're trying to get stability for themselves and the minor. Other reasons are included sometimes, but these are the main reasons I've seen from my practice as a family lawyer in Kenya. My name is Gloria Nafula. I am the managing partner of Nafula Gloria and Company Advocates. I've been practicing family law for more than 4 years, and I'm a commissioner for oaths. So if you're interested in knowing how to file a children's case from the beginning to the end, keep watching. So you want to file a children's case for the minor because you want maintenance, or because you want access, or because you want to organize your life so that you can co-parent this child peacefully. Here are some things you need to know from the beginning before filing your case. Number one, you need that child's birth certificate or a copy of the birth certificate. If you don't have that, at least a copy of the birth notification. This is going to prove to the court that you have authority over this minor, you have a relation to this minor, you're the parent of this minor. You just don't go there without any evidence. So you need at least to prove to the court that this child is yours. Number two, on our part, we'll need your national ID and any other additional evidence. We communicate with you via email and WhatsApp, and you send it to us. So how do you file a children's case in Kenya? Number one, you file that case in the court nearest to where the child lives. For children's matters, jurisdiction is very important, meaning the authority of the court, because courts have different authorities depending on the case. So for a child, the location is very important because sometimes they need to send a children's officer to where the child lives to see how the child is living. So if you're located in Eldoret, the children's officer will be from Eldoret. So you file the case in the Eldoret law courts. You file the case where the child is located. Number two important factor is your relationship to the child. Usually the court will give priority to parents, okay? Under Section 32 of the Children's Act, both parents have equal responsibility, and the law doesn't discriminate against the child. Whether the child was born and the parents were married, separated, not even been together, but the child was born to two people, that child is equal before the law as any other child, and both parents have equal responsibility and equal rights to the child. No gender is superior than the other in terms of children's rights. So the child will try to balance these rights between the parents, between who's taking care of the rent, who's taking care of the education, the medical fees. All these things will be considered so that we can get a fair decision and allocation of the responsibilities for this child. Final thing is, children's courts are for children. This means minors below the age of 18. I highly encourage my clients to file cases before this child turns 18, because after that they're outside the jurisdiction of the court and you need permission from the court to file. And there are very specific reasons why you'd file a case for a child or for a person who's already turned 18 in the children's court. Either they have a certain disability, or there are very specific reasons. Maybe they are in certain education, they're in training, and they really need the funds. You can appeal to the court on an application and say, please, this one time, please allow us to file a children's case even though the person is above the age of 18. But usually, bear in mind, time is a very important thing to the court. That's why a case can be thrown out just because you filed it out of time. And for children, that time is manifested in the child being below the age of 18, a minor. If you've already filed the case, it's so easy to seek an extension of those orders. Maybe the child has entered university. If they already had that case, you can reopen it and say, hey, this is the situation. Can we please extend this maintenance orders to 21 years old? Now that you have all the documents, you file a children's case through the e-filing portal. This is the electronic filing portal. The judiciary has done us a huge favor and made majority, if not all, of the whole process of a children's case virtual. There are only very specific circumstances where the parties would need to go to court. Usually it's virtual. So you file that case, the plaint, all the documents, we file on your behalf. We use our advocate account to file that case. If you are self-represented, you could file in your own name with the assistance of either the court, registry, or maybe you're working with an organization like FIDA, because the law has tried to make these children's cases accessible, because what are they looking at? The best interest of the child. So where in other cases you'd be barred from filing because maybe of the filing fees and all that, children's cases are very easy to file yourself. If you just ask, somebody will help you file the case. It's easier, of course, using an advocate because we know how the law works and we know how to put things in the right way so that it doesn't take us a long time. You can end up spending years in court just because you don't understand the process. Because we understand the process, this is why people consult with advocates. If you want to consult with us, all our contacts are in the description. You can use the email below or the number below to contact our office. So you file the case. What do you get first? A mention date. A mention date simply means that you're coming to court to update the court on certain issues. The first mention date specifically is to update the court on whether you have served the other party. You have shared those documents with the other parent. Because remember, the court is trying to be fair. You can't file a case in darkness and hide everything from the person. That would be unfair. So because of justice, we need to file and serve to the other party. Usually we can do it by email, we can do it by WhatsApp. So we will in fact need you to share with us, when we're filing the case, the contact of your partner or your ex-partner, the phone number which has WhatsApp, or the email. If not, we go physically with a court process server. We'll serve them with the documents where they are. You serve those documents, you put a document called an affidavit of service. Court may call it a return of service. In the small claims, it's called a certificate of service. All this just means it's an affidavit you have sworn stating how you served those documents, whether it was by WhatsApp, by email, or in person. That document is what we call an affidavit of service. When that is in the court, you have proven to the court that you did your part. If the court is okay with the service, we'll wait. Either the other person has responded to the plaint, to the case, or they haven't. Another thing we can do is, if there's an urgent situation, maybe the child is sick, or maybe you've been denied access and you really want to see your child, we can do an application under urgency to get certain orders. And also, this first mention is used to get interim orders, which means in the meantime, before we maliza this thing about cases and children, we want some orders so that we can, in the meantime, parent this child while the case is going on. So that could be orders on school fees, orders on what maintenance you'll be paying while this case progresses, because everything cannot just be at a standstill. We need to take care of this child. Remember, the best interest of the child. When all of that is said and done, now we can either choose, the court can either direct you to go to mediation, because they're trying to reduce conflict. They're trying to see whether you guys can agree so that they come out of it, like they don't interfere too much. If you guys can come to an agreement, all the best. It will move faster that way. If you can't, now you'll go to the hearing stage. I have a video down there about how a hearing is carried out. You can watch that video, from giving testimony, you're sworn in, you say all the things you need to say, and then we move on to that stage where we write submissions, which is just a summary. The advocate will write a summary of your case and put it in the best foot forward, trying the best to convince the court by that document why they should side with you. Note that certain things will be happening at this time. Either children's officers' reports have been filed. This is when a children's officer is directed by the court to go to the home and see how the child is living. Number 2, affidavit of means is something where you break down all the costs of maintenance of that child, so the court can have an idea what the child needs and how to allocate who will take care of what and who will take care of what. That is an affidavit of means. So both of you have to be candid and say, okay, I earn this much, I live in this house, and this is how much I can take care of per month. And then finally, the court will give a final judgment. That's what they mean by judgment. A judgment is the final decision of the court. It differs from a ruling, because a ruling is where we talk about applications. Remember how we said sometimes you need the court to do something for you before the case ends. That's an application, and then that application, when it's given a decision, is called a ruling. But a judgment is the final decision of the court. Now we've gotten a judgment. The court has told you you're going to be paying this much, or this, you're going to be doing this, you're going to be doing that. Usually the court will, the best scenario is this person listens and we just do what we said we'll do and we move on. The problem is if somebody doesn't listen, they're in contempt of court orders. The court orders are there, but they are blatantly not listening. That is when we now proceed to other forms of now executing that judgment. We can attach property to get maintenance. We can send them to civil jail, or call them to court to explain why they should not be sent to jail because they're not listening to the court. There are various ways to make this judgment come to fruition. So that is what we call execution. So that is post-judgment. So you see, this is a whole process of filing a children's case and getting what you want in the end. Depending on what you want, you can agree before time. If all you want is access, this is something you can agree and consent to and resolve this case within a month. That is possible. Well, then there's those people who are back and forth, cooperating, not cooperating. Those are the cases that take long. For a time frame, I'd give you 1 year is a good time. It can be less. It can even be 3 months if you agree. So children's cases are those things that are can go back and forth. And remember, a children's case is different from other cases because a children's case can take however long you want, because you can always reopen cases when people are not doing what they're supposed to do. It's the same as succession. Succession is a matters can go on and back and forth because it's a family matter. It's given that allowance to open the case because what the court wants to do is maintain the best interest of the child, not your ego, not your fights. No, is the child okay? Are they having consistent maintenance? Are they being taken care of? Is their physical, emotional, and developmental health taken care of? That's what the court is concerned with, not people's egos, not revenge, not fighting. So if you're interested in filing a children's case, please email the email below or write us a WhatsApp message in the number below. We will respond to you within 24 hours. We can book a consultation. Usually I'm free from 11:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Not free, but within that time frame is when I do consultations. It is charged because it's a legal services. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you're more interested in the process of how court happens in a hearing, you can watch the following video. Thank you for watching. Bye.